One thing I love about the AR M4 platform is the rifle is extremely popular, and because of that, there are a lot of companies making gear. And of course, wading through all that gear and trying to decide what really works, what's a novelty, what you can really rely on. That's one of the things that I've had quite a bit of experience with the Lancer mags. And this is the Advanced Warfighter mag. It's called the L5AWM for Advanced Warfighter. These are translucent, they're high quality, and they just have a lot of features that some of the other mags don't have. And so we're just going to go through some of the details and the specs of these mags. Lancer already makes a really high quality AR-15 rifle. Their lowers are really just tremendous. They even have a system where you can change the mag well, interchangeable mag wells, and a lot of other things, and they do a lot in the military industry. The polymer itself is a really high quality, high strength polymer. It resists impacts, but also it resists chemicals such as Deet. It's gone through all the military tests, and it's just impervious. One of the things that I really like about it is that it can handle extreme temperatures, down to minus 50 degrees up to 180 degrees without any deformation. In fact, they even recommend that you can leave loaded magazines in vehicles for extended period of times in those temperature ranges. Now here we have a loaded 30-round magazine, and one of the key things about having a translucent magazine is you know immediately if your firearm is loaded. It has marks for 30 and marks for 20 rounds. Once it gets to about 15 rounds, you don't really know, but at least you know that you don't have a full magazine, and this is what your round count is. You can see them actually going up as the weapon's being fired. You may say, why another magazine? I mean, we have your standard military magazines, the aluminum mags, and then we have a line of polymer. And you know, guys, I love Magpul. I mean, they make great magazines. But Lancer's done kind of like the best of both worlds, where you have your polymer body, and then you have steel feed lips. And this is an integral part. It's a hardened, heat-treated steel that's actually molded into the polymer. This is non-removable, and this will protect your feed lips. Aluminum feed lips can get dented, but here you have steel feed lips, and this is kind of a spring tension, so you're not going to get any deformation by dropping these. In fact, they've done a series of tests. They say they guarantee that you can drop them from 5 feet with a completely loaded magazine and not have any breakages. We're going to do the drop test of 5 feet with a loaded magazine with 30 rounds. It scuffs, no big deal. You can see here it did cause the brass to dent, and of course that's expected, brass and concrete. But the lips themselves scratched up, but to be honest with you, that coating is really holding up well. No deformation at all. Little scuffed, which obviously polymer and concrete again, but no cracks. Here's the side that took the most damage directly to the concrete, but all the stress points look fine. No cracks whatsoever, no deformation with the lips. No problems. Okay, here are the feed lips after they've been cleaned up. I took a little frog lube, just wanted to get rid of any of the concrete and scuffing that was on here to just see what kind of actual damage. And of course there are some slight scratches in the metal itself, which, you know, concrete and metal, I don't care what kind of metal you have. There's no denting, no deformation, just surface scratches. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with these mags. Of course, if you're wondering what kind of ammo this is, it's HPR 55 grain VMAX. That's what the tip's about. We're going to insert it in the magazine well. No problems. Then on the bottom is a reinforced rubber polymer that protects the bottom of your magazine, just gives you a little extra. On the bottom of the magazine, the first time I dropped it, there was a little bit of a scuff right there, but that's to be expected. One right here at the front. But everything remained intact. Now this steel is also going to help with your mag release, and your upper lip is going to fit right here, and then it's just going to catch. So this will keep this from wearing out as well. Now this is their smoked version. They also have a brown and a black in the translucent. But then they had the opaque, which are just standard polymer magazines, and it comes in black, dark field earth, OD, and foliage. The translucent magazines, though, are a little more expensive because of the quality of the translucent polymers. But there are a lot of advantages to the translucents over the opaque. The body itself is very aggressive, and it has these little cones that come up. Gives you a really good gripping surface. Here's a little place right here. You just press it, and then you can remove your base plate. And this allows you to get right into your magazine and to clean it. The follower is an anti-tilt follower, and it has the section that fits into the grooves here on the front of the magazine. And then also it has a base right here to be able to ride up against this little groove. It's geometrically consistent for an easy flow, so it stays real consistent flowing down the magazine, or actually coming back up with the rounds as they're expended. Fits very easily back into the magazine. Push down, just replace your base plate. This is really quick, easy on, easy off. The other thing, it has the same dimensions as your standard GI mags, so there's no trouble in inserting and removing these from pouches. And they also work in the HK 416, the SA 80, the Beretta ARX 160, and the SCAR 16, and of course the M4, M16 platforms. Now in military situations, pre-combat inspections and checks are really easy to do with these, and also post-contact checks. So if you're on patrol and you need to just look down to make sure that magazine's loaded, you know your round count. And this also helps, especially in competitive shooting. You can just look immediately, know where you are. They offer these in 5, 10, 20, 30, and 48 rounders. So you have a lot of different options with your magazine size. Now you can go to lancersystems.com and look at their small arms category. They show you all the different AR-15s that they make. I've shot quite a few of the Lancer mags, but these are the first ones that I've actually been able to test, and I'll tell you, they just worked flawlessly. Every round was fired very easily. And Robbie Wheaton at Wheaton Arms is the one that actually introduced me to these at first. And I've always loved the way they look. They just have a different, unique appearance to them. And then, of course, being able to see your rounds is really great. But what I really like, though, is this steel feed lips. This really protects anything, any kind of damage, dropping your magazines. And in a high-stress situation, that is not hard to do. Now, to find these, you can go to WheatonArms.com, and my buddy Robbie Wheaton over at Wheaton Arms, he just got in a huge inventory of these magazines. And he's selling them for $18.99. And if you want to buy them in volume, and I think that's 50 or above, give him a call, and he has a special price for those magazines. So I think that's a great way to get a hold of these, and that's the lowest prices that I've seen, $18.99, and they have them right there in stock, so you're able to get them. And I'll tell you guys, one thing about these, and I said this in one of my earlier videos concerning the Magpul magazines. Right now, the mags are coming back. We're starting to get 30 rounders. Again, if they put out 48 rounders, that's great. Another incident can happen, and to be honest with you guys, it will happen sooner or later. And when it does, we're going to have another big scare. So buy your magazines now, and why not buy really super quality magazines that you know that you put a lot of confidence in, and be able to preserve your Second Amendment, be able to keep round counts, and be able to keep equipment, because that gun without a magazine is just a paperweight, and it's not really a good one at that. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
You can hear it hitting the berm, and then when this thing stopped, it was like, whoop. That's just because you're not hearing all the muzzle blast.
Yep. The sound of that bullet hitting the berm is as loud as the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Thunk. Thunk. It's kind of a sweet sound.
It is.
Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America.